Same way God, who is the mystery of mysteries, who holds the entire universe, he comes within your arms, sits in your heart, becomes this much. This is profound point to understand. Otherwise, your mind keeps a kind of a mathematical study of God. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Nilambujasyamala Komalangam Sita Samaropita Vamabhagam Panau Mahasayaka Charu Chapam Namami Ramam Raghuvanshanatham. Adorations to Lord Rama, whose complexion is like a blue lotus, who is very tender and delightful in appearance. Sita is seated on his left side. He is carrying a powerful bow and arrow in his hands. We continue in Balakanda, Doha number 115 onwards. Lord Shiva commences to relate to Parvati the glory story of Rama. Nothing delights a person more than a story. The entire world experience is a story. It's many story in a story. Figure that out. Saguna hi aguna hi nahi kachu bheda Gavahi muni purana buddha beda Agun arupa alakha ajajoyi Bhagat prema basa sagun soyi. So many insights are put together in very simple terms. Firstly, Sagunahi Agunahi. Sagun Brahman and Nirguna Brahman. Brahman with attributes. Form. We turn your attention to what I have explained before. Godward mind adores God in three ways. Sagun Sakar, that's the basic. God as Krishna, as a Rama. You see the God as a form. Along with the form, you allow your mind to dwell upon his attributes. He is omniscient, omnipotent, indweller of the heart, the knower of mind and all. He is the boundless compassion and so forth. The next stage, your mind moves away from the form. Form doesn't become highlighted. And that's in the practical world as well. If you are looking for a relative, a near and dear one, waiting in the airport, your eyes are looking for the form. Mm-hmm. Whose head looks like it. But when the form has come to you, and you are well settled after your tea or whatever, now begin to enjoy the feeling that the form symbolizes. So even though the form is before you, your mind is looking for the heart level of your relative. That's called Saguna Nirakara, that's second level. Akar moves away. Third level, as your mind advances in the understanding of the mystery of life and the profundity of soul, then you realize all the words you use through your mind, they are not really defining God. You can look into the dictionary, what is the best words? Commit them in memory. And use the best words while you pray. That's great. There's no harm in that. But come to a stage of understanding that even when your mind says Brahman is Satchidananda, but what is Satchidananda? Your mind doesn't have the real understanding about it. So now come to realize that even a million concepts of your Satchidananda is not the Satchidananda. In Ramayana later, these words have been used that Rama is greater than millions of Vishnu, millions of Shiva, millions of all gods. He's not insulting gods, etc. The concept that allows you to grow because you have no other choice. You allow first foundation of your movement, Sagun Sakar. And that foundation is never given up. When we describe the sequence, that doesn't mean that you should figure out, I am advanced, why should I go stay with Sagun Sakar? Not so. Only your vision, angle, is not, you are seeing Sagun Sakar. It's just like you secure yourself on a chair, having gone to any house or any business, securing yourself on the chair like having Sagun Sakar. Now you don't kick the chair, you stay on the chair and move into other business. So, saints and sages who are beyond all, yet they will bow down to every little form of the deity. They will give an example of how to pray, how to shed tears. So remember the three stages, and they don't contradict each other in their appearance. You can be deeply involved in Nirguna Nirakara, highly advanced. But you will continue in your daily life communicating with people in all the three levels. How to worship God as Rama, as Krishna. How to worship God as divine attributes, not form. And how to realize God attributeless, where mind itself is blown away. Then who is going to give a concept for God? Saguna hi aguna hi nahi kachu bheda. So there is no real difference between Saguna, God with attributes, Aguna, God without attributes. Now I'm turning your attention to still higher understanding. When we study Vedanta, mind turns to Brahman That's aguna. When you understand Brahman, then your mind doesn't go after form, name, history, whose son is Brahman, who was his father, where was his mother, what are the stories, all that. But now you have led yourself to a desert. What will you do whole day and day after day? Devoted to Brahman. Nothing exists. Nada exists. Nada me pertenece. All is false. From an intellectual point of view, yes, you have understood that. You are the greatest Brahman realization. But if your personality does not waft fragrance of compassion and love, if it is not inspiring, neither to yourself nor to others, that aguna, nirguna level is ineffective. So in order to be really progressing on the spiritual path, you must understand I am Brahman. Along with it, love of your heart must blossom. Otherwise, your understanding is immature. No matter how wonderfully you understand, that cannot lead you to liberation. But when your heart begins to capture that understanding in its own level, in the form of compassion, daya, karuna, in the form of perceiving the world, Siya Ram Mai Sab Jag Jan, in the form of being enfolded by God's presence. Kayena vacha mansendriyarva. Whatever we do by body, mind, speech, I'm enfolded by God. If you have come to that level, then aguna has become saguna. The nameless, formless has become blossomed with amazing mystic form. So try to understand in these lines. Otherwise, people continue to live their whole life fighting against aguna and saguna. Gavahi Muni Purana Buddha Veda. This is the essential teaching given by sages, all enlightened sages. Those who are truly enlightened, both aspects manifest through them. The aspect of absolute negation of the world. Think of the Shankaracharya, who is constantly asserting Brahma Satyam Jaganamithya, Jivo Brahmaiva Para. Brahman alone is truth. The world is absolutely false. The soul in you is absolute Brahman. But at the same time, he is turning to his disciples, where should I go? What have you planned for me? What type of trip? I'm jokingly presenting that his heart is moved by compassion. So agunahi sagunahi nahi kachu veda. There is no difference between these two concepts. Both are assimilated by you if you are mature. And the proof of your advancing knowledge is expression of divine love. The truth of your advancing love is gaining subtlety of insight. Both are interdependent. And that's what is meant by Saguna hi aguna hi nahi kachu veda. Gavahi Muni, those who are sages. Purana Buddha Veda. Vedas are the basic scriptures. But the Vedic scriptures are extended into Puranas, Srimad Bhagavad Purana, Skanda Purana, Matsya Purana, so many Puranas. And Itihasas. Ramayana and Mahabharata, they are called Itihasa. Itihasa referring to allegorical history of sages and saints. Allegorical story, history. Seems like history once upon a time. Agun Arup Alak Ajajoi. This the now turning your attention to Rama, the absolute Rama, same as Brahman, God the absolute. Agun, beyond all the gunas of nature, sattva, rajas, tamas, beyond attributes that human mind can conceive of. Arup, he has no form. No photographer took picture of Ganesha and made his stomach so big. It's all allegorical. Alak. Nobody has seen God through their eyes. God cannot be seen. God is, darshan of God is not a visual experience. And that's one point. Another point, Brahman, God, the absolute, is beyond the mind and senses. Your speech, your mind, your intellect, all these cannot grasp God. That's the Upanishadic statement. However, Bhagat Prem Bas, when the love of God has advanced in your heart, you have no conflict. Who is God? What are his qualities? Just like a baby comes in the arms of a mother. Baby holds tremendous mystery. But mother enfolds the baby, it is a part of her. Same way God, who is the mystery of mysteries, who holds the entire universe, he comes within your arms, sits in your heart, becomes this much. This is profound point to understand. Otherwise, your mind keeps a kind of a mathematical study of God. See, he is Virat. Even the Milky Way is in his body. All that can have is a little darshan of him. And the more you develop your intellect, the more you feel the immensity of task. But the more you understand your heart and potentiality of your heart, how much do you handle without, even animals and birds, how much they handle out of love. go into a college to study all the things, and the frogs have not done that. Squirrels have not done that. Cows and horses, they have not done that. But all the knowledge they enfold in, and operate, that knowledge operates in a very spontaneous way. All that I'm leading you to understand that similarly, developing divine love is a natural process. If you have become more and more qualified for it, if you have allowed your mala and vikshepa to move away, and for that there is a whole integral yoga process. Jo gun rahit sagun soi kaise, jalu him upar bilag nahi jaise. Now, to satisfy the intellectual argument, how can Nirguna become Saguna? The example is given. Just like the moisture that we don't see, it turns into fog and mist. And out of clouds, which is, they rain down hail. Hail, hail to the clouds. This is why the word hail comes in. Whose name is like the sun to dispel the darkness of delusion. All being trapped in a world of limited mind. Maneva manushyanam karanam bandhamokshayoh. And the mind is conditioned by mala, vikshepa, and avarana. That mind, mala is impurities, vikshepa distraction, avarana is ignorance. Mind that is restricted by these. That's the predicament of the mass mentality. All your experiences in this restricted state of mind are extensions of illusion, Brahma. Let me give you what I have told you before. There are three types of delusion. Satyatva Bhranti, Ishtatva Bhranti, Samichinatva Bhranti. What do you understand? Satyatva Bhranti. Objects are viewed as real. Generally, the person says, I had the darshan of God. Did you touch him? Did you feel him out? Or you are just speaking of illusion? But that in itself is a Bhranti, simply because your hands touch and feel. Because that's not just a nervous reaction. In other words, though to your senses things seem real, but the senses themselves are not the highest instruments. Behind the senses, your mind. Behind the mind, your intellect. Behind the intellect, there are vasanas that restrict your perception. So all your experiences are like experiences in your dream. In your dream, you can touch people, receive gifts, be frightened by those who hold knives, etc. But that's not satyatva, that's not reality. But viewing them as real, that makes you feel affected by the world. Ishtatva Bhranti, another big illusion that in order to succeed and be prosperous, I must bring those objects to my control, to be in my possession. If they, whether human beings, if I set up a relationship and get the relationship I enjoy and like, how wonderful. But this is a Bhranti. It is not really you want. Deep down you want experience of infinite love, not imitation love. Love experienced in relationships evolved by karmas. These are like reflections. Loving so many reflected suns doesn't put you in a healthy state. So that's called Ishtatva Bhranti. The moral behind it, the objects and any external setup is not your goal. But you view it, that's my goal. That's Bhranti. Samichinatva Bhranti. Another, when you bring objects and relatives in your close-knit surrounding, then it feels that I'm quite fulfilled. I have brought them together. But what you don't understand that closeness with people, you have to also understand with care, because I'm not underestimating the close personalities and coming together. That's perfectly real and good. But what I'm trying to say is that's not enough. Yes, child can be close to his mother. And if karmically mother's mentation is totally different from the child, then both are far apart. In all relations, sometimes people live together, very close-knit, and they consider it a curse. They started their relationship with a great joy, brought the person whom you love close to your house, gave a room within, and you have created a lease that you cannot drive to the house. Just in a few days, misunderstanding them. You don't want to look at the person, but you have no choice. Person is just few feet away, but to you, miles away. Because samichinatva bhranti. Sometimes people who are miles and miles away, they are very close. Every day you put on your tablet and look at the face. So satyatva bhranti is an important point. These bhrantis belong to all objects of the world. So while in practical world you deal with them, try to understand you are meant to grow out of these bhrantis. Don't stay a baby captured by bhrantis. Jasunama brahma timira patanga. This is a description of Brahm I have given to you, delusion. For removing delusion, divine name, introduce your mind to divine name. That's called mantra diksha. But that's beginning stage that must grow up into a profound awareness that God, you are enfolded by God. See, the whole world is a heap of God's glory. So look at the world and see it all like a big, massive mountains of flowers. And all the flowers are, in them is written Ram, Ram. In allegorical description. Come to next level, the level of your sentiments. The world of your sentiments, whomsoever you love and whomsoever you don't love, and even people whom you hate, they are all mystic flowers of Ra. Some flowers have thorns also, but they're all flowers. And deep at intellect level, all the thoughts and things you handle, they are illumined by divine presence. That Ram is showering upon all. Then your Nama Japa has become, mantra Chaitanya has become awakened. Because when your Japa impinges upon your three levels of experience in a positive manner, then mantra becomes a power beyond your imagination. That type of experience has been illustrated by Mahatma Gandhi. If you become deeply involved with mantra and allow your mind to flow Godwards, tehi kimi kahiye vimoha prasanga, then you don't have to be worried about, am I going to be tempted, deceived, deluded? That prasanga, that predicament will not arise. If you have flashlight in your hand, will I be able to see? The predicament will not arise. Ram Satchidananda Dinesha Nahita Moha Nisha Avadesha Sahaja Prakasha Rupa Bhagavana Nahita Puni Vijnana Vihana. Sri Rama is like the shining sun, the very embodiment of Satchidananda, absolute existence, absolute consciousness, absolute joy. That's the deepest urge in every individual. Every individual wants to exist. That reveals the fact that deep down, in reality, you are absolute existence, Sat. Everyone wants to know. No matter how much you know, it's not enough. You are wondering how much science may bring more to know as time passes by. But that's another type, which is a little healthier type. But the mind day by day is involved. What's cooking in others' houses? I'm joking. All the news that goes on breaking on the screen, that's what you want to know. Because your deeper urge is to understand you are all-knowing. You are like the sun that illumines all. But for a ray of the sun that has been conditioned, its sphere of illumination is very limited. Soul within you is like a ray of the sun. But that ray has to rise beyond its rarity. And real I am the sun. And that instinct, that urge goes on working in every individual. And the third type of urge to be happy, that nobody can contradict. And all living creatures want to be happy. Ananda. The absolute reality is Sat Chit Ananda. Existence, knowledge or consciousness and bliss. And you have a little sniff of that absolute reality when you are in deep sleep. A wonder takes place. You are stripped of your senses that you like so much. You are stripped of your feelings, stripped of your intellect, your ego. And in that state, when you wake up, face becomes bright and say, how wonderful did I sleep? And then you go, show your pride, I knew nothing. Just as without any effort, you are led to give up the entire world. Now, with spiritual advancement, led by your knowledge and love of God, you rise beyond senses, mind, intellect, ego. That's your goal. Nature has provided an experiment for you. You go to sleep day by day. And you are not afraid of losing everything. Rather, you become much more relaxed when all moves away. Allow that mind to work upon your mind. The ultimate reality is not to develop a sense of being desolate. If the world goes away, what will happen? Rather, allow your mind to be fascinated by that experience. It's called padartha bhavana. All experiences relating to matter are negated. The entire world becomes absent. Nahitah moha nisha alavalesha. Sahaja prakasha rupa bhagavana. God is self-effulgent. Nahitah puni vijnana vihana. God is not subject to rising and setting. Even the sun is not subject to rising and setting. That's due to delusion of human mind. So if you're led by ignorance, you develop these ideas of bondage and release. Stripped of ignorance, the self is like the sun that was never subjected to rising and setting. Much less he has been given a chariot to drive with many horses. हर्ष विषाद ज्ञान अज्ञान जीव धर्म अहमिति अभिमाना राम ब्रह्म व्यापक जग जाना परमानंद परेश पुराना. So many ideas are there. So Swadhyaya has to be done with big patience. But generally, people reading it, they go far. Where is Rama? Harsh Vishad Jnana Ajnana. Joy, sorrow, gaining knowledge, losing knowledge, ahamta, egoism, abhiman, conceit. These become natural characteristics of jiva that is in bondage. So if you want to stay as jiva, then don't complain against these things. Delightful things happen. That's normal. Then suddenly all your delights go away. That's normal. You're a jiva, not Shiva. You understand something, your mind becomes so, I know everything. And then suddenly everything moves away from your mind. Find yourself dull-wit, absolute stupid. That's because you are a jiva, with the potentiality of becoming Shiva, with the potentiality of realizing I am Brahman. Through twofold movement, jnana and bhakti. And of course, in a broader way, integral yoga. Jnana, bhakti, dhyana, and karma. Action, how to improve upon your action. What type of attitude should be behind the duties you perform? How can you make your duties linked to your heart? They bring joyousness in your heart. How to improve upon your sentiments. Bhavana vikas. How to allow one-pointedness to develop in the mind, not being distracted. Just like you don't like things blurry around you. You want to have a clear revelation of things. But when you are distracted, all that you are seeing is a blurry effect. Sometimes happens in the TV. You see the nose goes up there, the ear goes that way. That's the way people see the world. But with ekagrata, clarity is restored. And through that ekagrata movement, you ultimately attain the goal. Rama is all permeating, vyapak. The entire dream world of yours is permeated by your own consciousness. That work upon it. While dreaming, it seems such vast world of past, present, and future. Of countless things, things you love, things you don't love. Countless horrible things. But if someone were to whisper into your ears, you are all this. All has being illusory modification of your consciousness, called vivarta. Snake on rope. Snake is illusory modification of the rope. That's a Vedantic example. So it's illusory modification of your own consciousness. When you wake up, you find you yourself wonderfully relaxed. That becomes kind of an allegorical example. Similar is the process. First, to understand the entire world you are experiencing is illusory modification of the consciousness, absolute consciousness. That absolute consciousness is I am. Spiritual awakening is self-realization. When you become enlightened, then there is nothing but the absolute self. For easier understanding, develop a different way of looking at it. You're looking at illuminations, countless illuminations of the sun. You are looking at countless reflections of the sun. Day by day, these go on changing. But behind all this, all these are illusory modifications of the light of the sun. Sun remains ever the same. The sun-like state within you is your reality. Led by ignorance, you are looking for the sun by looking into the pots, from pot to pot. And you become more and more miserable when you see in every pot the soul is in different predicaments. Who created all this? The answer is sun created it. And how can I be happy when I become the sun? I'm joking, but try to figure that out. Purusha prasiddha prakasha nidhi pragata paravaranat ragukul mani mama swami soyi kahi sivanath heuma na yeumat. That absolute Purusha, the divine self, is the treasure house of light. It is all light. And it is that Brahman that is manifesting in all names and forms. He is the Lord of jivas, all souls. He is the Lord of the very cosmic illusion, Maya, the Lord of the entire universe. The reality behind all. That Rama, the jewel in the line of Raghu, is my Lord. Thus saying, Shiva bows his head, arousing in you love for Ram. Love for the I am, your real identity. A lot of identity theft has happened. Nishacharas have taken away your identity. And with this I will conclude. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.